Hello, in this video we are going to cover tuples. So tuples are a sequence of Python objects and they're essentially like lists. The difference between tuple and list are tuples, unlike lists, can't be changed, and they use parentheses, and lists use squares, so square brackets. That's really the main differences. So the syntax is slightly different, and they can't be changed. So let's start. So I'm going to call this tuple1 and assign it to brackets or parentheses, and let's assign it with some mixed values 1, 2, 3. Let's do A. Let's do B. Let's do C. Okay, so that's how you create a tuple. So accessing values, we've done this before, but I'll show you again. So if I do print, I could print the entire tuple if I wanted to. So I could do tuple1. I could do print tuple1, and to access it, it's just square bracket 1. That will get the second element, because remember, everything in computer science, or pretty much everything, starts at 0. So the first element will be 0. And I could print multiple set of values. So I could do print tuple1, and I could put a square bracket. Let's say if I put it 0 to 4, so 0 to the 4 elements. And now let's run it and see what we get. There we go, all of it, and then just the first few, just the first 4. So this is exclusive, so this is technically 0, 1, 2, and 3. Then obviously the second element as well. So updating it, like I was saying, you can't change it. So this is what happens if I try and update it in like a normal way. So if I were to try and do tuple1, I want to change the first one to the value 5, for example. If I run this, see what we get. As you can see, we are getting an error on line 9, which is this 9. It is saying tuple object does not support item assignment. So it'll give you an error if you try and do that. So you don't want to be doing that. You could obviously create a new tuple and form it with the foundations of a previous tuple or multiple tuples. So you could get one just do an entire assignment, just get individual values. That's fine, but you can't just update an existing tuple. So removing individual tuple elements is also not possible. So there is, of course, nothing wrong with putting together another tuple with the undesigned elements discarded. So you could do that. But if you try and delete it, if you do del, and let's say if we try and do tuple, for example. So if I delete it and if I try and run this now, that will work. Oh, it's tuple. Sorry, tuple1. That will work. So if I try and print tuple1 afterwards, that will work fine. But if I were to do, let's say, delete tuple1 and the first one, that this wouldn't be valid. But this is fine. This will delete the entire tuple, and you'll see what we get when we try and access it afterwards. And here we go. So tuple is not defined because we've deleted. So I can delete the entire tuple, just not individual elements. Okay, so there's some really cool basic operations for tuples in Python, and there's quite a few of them. I'm just going to cover one of them. Once you know the format of that, you should be all good to go. I'll provide a link in the description that'll cover all the stuff that is extending on what we've already going to cover in this video. So one of them is len, which just calls the length of the actual tuple, so how many elements there are. So for the print, I'll do before this actually. The print len, and now I'll just specify the tuple1. So this is accessing tuples, creating tuples, and tuple operations. And deleting. tuples. So if I run this, see what we get. And so what was so 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, okay, so we got a value of 6 because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Like I said, there's a whole heap of other operations, from being able to concatenate them, to repetition, to indexing, slicing, and matrices. All of that, it will be in a link with this video, so feel free to check that out. And there's built-in other tuple methods as well, so you can essentially convert a list into a tuple. You can get a max or min value from a tuple as well. But once you are familiar with what we've done in here, the rest of it will just feel easy. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Tupleicious video.